Good morning, everyone. I hope you're all well. It's PJ here again for the Thursday morning devotion of Clontarf Beach Baptist Church. I'm broadcasting a little bit earlier this morning as I have another engagement to prepare for this afternoon. But if you log on later on at 9:30 a.m., this video should still be there. So I hope that's all right. And for today, we will be continuing with our Bible discovery reading. That's a bit of a tongue twister. Bible discovery reading of the book of John. And what we will be looking at today is the story of how Philip and Nathanael first met Jesus. And that is found at the end of John chapter 1 in verses 43 to 51. And as usual, after we read as part of the Bible discovery, I will be asking and answering my usual set of questions. Again, this is for us to better unpack or understand the passage a little bit more. So without further delay, join me and let's read John chapter 1, verses 43 to 51. I will be reading from the NIV. If you have a different version of Bible with you at home, that's all right. But maybe you could follow along as I read. All right, John chapter 1, 43 to 51. This is what it says from verse 43. The next day, Jesus decided to leave for Galilee. Finding Philip, he said to him, "Follow me." Philip, like Andrew and Peter, was from the town of Bethsaida. Philip found Nathanael and told him, "We have found the one Moses wrote about in the law, and about whom the prophets also wrote, Jesus of Nazareth, the son of Joseph." "Nazareth? Can anything good come from Nazareth?" Nathanael asked. "Come and see," said Philip. When Jesus saw Nathanael approaching, he said of him, "Here truly is an Israelite in whom there is no deceit." "How do you know me?" Nathanael asked. Jesus answered, "I saw you while you were still under the fig tree before Philip called you." Then Nathanael declared, "Rabbi, you are the Son of God. You are the King of Israel." Verse 50, Jesus said, "You believe because I told you I saw you under the fig tree? You will see greater things than that." He then added, "Very truly I tell you, you will see heaven open and the angels of God ascending and descending on the Son of Man." Alright, that is our passage for this morning. It's a short and very interesting story. And to answer my usual first question, what do I like most about the passage? Or what struck me most about the passage that we just read? For me, that would be Nathanael's reaction to Jesus' small, and I put quotation marks on that, small miracle of seeing him under the fig tree. I like this because Nathanael first presented himself to be a very cynical, quite sarcastic person even, when he said, "Nazareth? Can anything good come from there?" Basically, Nathanael was stereotyping the people of Nazareth because of its bad reputation. And he was skeptical when Philip approached him with the good news about Jesus. But just because Jesus presented Nathanael with a tiny bit of power when Jesus said that he had seen Nathanael under a fig tree before he actually met him, Nathanael completely flipped and immediately declared that Jesus is the Son of God and King of Israel. This just shows me that as people, we never truly know what is in a person's heart until we actually share Jesus with them. Some people we know may seem to be very rugged or tough, so we might assume that they are uninterested in Jesus. Or maybe some people around us present themselves to be very worldly, maybe sinful even. So we think that they would have no interest in matters of faith. But unless we begin to pray for them and really try and share Jesus with them, just like Nathaniel, we'll never know how God may be using us to help these people around us realize who Jesus really is. If Philip, knowing that Nathaniel, his friend, was this wisecracking person, and a person who stereotypes, if Philip simply held back from sharing Jesus with Nathaniel because of his assumptions about his friend, then Philip would have missed out on his opportunity in helping Nathaniel come to believe in Jesus. And it didn't even take much to convince Nathaniel of, and even Jesus said that that was nothing of his power. And yet, and Nathaniel would see much more greater things than that. And yet, Nathaniel, the skeptic, who was being, I guess, sarcastic with Philip, he believed, even with that small gesture that Jesus had showed him. So I encourage you this morning, don't stereotype people and assume that they won't believe in Jesus. It doesn't matter how people present themselves. As long as like you, or they listen to you, or they serve you in any way, even if they don't seem like very godly people or people interested in spiritual stuff, or maybe they have a different religion or a different worldview, just start praying for them and make a move to share Jesus with them in faith, because you never know. They may be the people of peace whom Jesus wants you to reach out to. And Jesus can take it from there. Jesus can reveal himself to them, just like he did with Nathaniel, if we just do our part in sharing Jesus with others. Of course, at times we will encounter people who aren't really faithful and who won't respond to Jesus, even after Jesus powerfully reveals himself to them. But that's fine. That is beyond what God asks us to do. God will still be pleased in us simply because we did our part in sharing Jesus with others. And for the second question I normally ask, do you think this passage says anything about God? Well, I believe it shows us that Jesus knows exactly what to show people in order for their hearts to turn to him. Some people may need more convincing from the Holy Spirit. Some may require a little more time or more revelation from God. But those things are beyond our control and our responsibility. Again, all we need to do is keep doing our part in sharing Jesus with others as an act of faith, and to do it to the best of our abilities. And then we leave the results to God. That is all that God asks us to do. And for the third question that I normally ask, do you think this passage says anything about people? I think I answered this question already when I talked about what I like most about the passage. That people are not always what they present themselves to be. And we'll never really know how they will respond to Jesus until we actually make the effort of sharing Jesus with them. So, to answer my usual last question, if what this passage we're saying is true, what do you think you have to do about it? And I guess I would have to say that what I'd have to do is to share Jesus with people. Again, even if they don't seem to be interested in Jesus initially, or maybe they seem to present themselves to be focused on other things of the world. But if a person I know of somehow seems to like me, to listen to me, or to serve me in some way, even if it doesn't relate to faith or matters about Jesus, then I'll start praying for them and myself as well, and make a plan to share Jesus' good news with them, because they are presenting themselves to be a person of peace. A person who likes me, who listens to me, or serve me in some way. They are most likely people who will be open to Jesus as well. Again, regardless of how they present themselves towards faith or the gospel. We'll never know until we actually share it with them. So that's all I'd like to say for this morning regarding our passage. If you have any questions, or if you'd like to talk a little bit further about the passage, I know there are some aspects of the passage I didn't talk about deeply. Then you can just contact me or leave a message down in the comment sections below, and we can talk about the passage a little bit more. So I or the other pastors will try and get back to you the soonest if you do leave a message. All right, that's all. Thanks again for joining us. God bless everyone. Bye-bye.